This finger is smelly and dirty, but the boy directly swallows it without chewing. It is the second finger that he has swallowed. In this world, there are 20 fingers like this. If someone can swallow all of them, he can have the ability to destroy Earth. Why would an ordinary boy want to have such powerful strength? Let's start today's recap. The male protagonist Yuji is a high school student. His parents left him since his childhood, and he lives with his grandfather. Recently, his grandfather is ill and hospitalized, which makes Yuji so worried. Yuji joins a school club that specializes in supernatural phenomena, but many sports club presidents want Yuji to join them because he is athletic. He can easily break the world record in the shot put competition and run in the 100-meter race in 5 seconds, having the same physical fitness as a superhero. One day after school, Yuji goes to the hospital to visit his grandfather, whose condition is getting worse. He asks Yuji to be kind and help as many people as possible with his strong physical power, which turns out to be his last words, and the grandpa passes away soon after. As Yuji is grieved for this, a mysterious man named Megumi suddenly shows up, asking him to hand over a cursed object, which turns out to be an antique Yuji picked up. Members of the club thought it looked weird and wanted to study it. Megumi tells Yuji that there are often mysterious deaths or disappearances in this world, all caused by curses. People's negative emotions can create curses, which will then produce a terrifying monster, the Cursed Spirit. The antique picked up by Yuji attracts Cursed Spirit, which can trigger terrifying consequences if left untreated. However, the object has been taken away by the seniors of the club, and they intend to conduct research tonight. Learning of that, Megumi immediately rushes to school. Meanwhile, Yuji's seniors have loosed the bandage of the antique, which turns out to be a finger. Sure enough, several cursed spirits attack them and snatch the finger. Worried about his seniors, Yuji goes to school with Megumi, but at the school gate, Megumi asks Yuji to stay where he is, and enters the school alone to deal with the cursed spirit. Megumi turns out to be a Jujutsu sorcerer, who specializes in using the magical spells Jujutsu to deal with cursed spirits. Every Jujutsu sorcerer is proficient in one kind of Jujutsu, and Megumi's Jujutsu is summoning. He can summon many animals to help him fight. Yuji also enters the school to help Megumi fight the cursed spirit, because he wants to follow his grandfather's last words and help others. They successfully defeat the cursed spirit, save Yuji's seniors, and recapture that finger. But the next second, a more powerful cursed spirit appears. It sneaks up on Megumi and severely wounds him. In this case, Yuji steps forward to fight the cursed spirit, but he is not a Jujutsu sorcerer, and is quickly defeated. To save Megumi and himself, Yuji has to eat the cursed finger. Normally, a person who eats a cursed finger will definitely die, but Yuji is so strong that he even gains great power, killing the cursed spirit in an instant. However, by this time, Yuji's body has been taken over by another cursed spirit, named Sukuna, the owner of the finger that Yuji ate. Fortunately, Yuji soon regains consciousness and control of his body. Just then, Megumi's teacher, Satoru, shows up at the scene. He guesses that Yuji can decide whether or not to let Sukuna's consciousness take over his body, so he asks Yuji to allow Sukuna's consciousness to appear for 10 seconds. After taking possession of Yuji's body, Sukuna fights Satoru for 10 seconds, and Yuji regains consciousness. Satoru thinks this is a miracle, so he stuns Yuji and brings him back to the stronghold of Jujutsu sorcerers. When Yuji wakes up, Satoru tells him that Sukuna is the strongest cursed spirit in history. 1,000 years ago, all Jujutsu sorcerers united to fight Sukuna, but failed. Sukuna has 4 hands, and after his death, he stored his evil power in his fingers, making them impossible to destroy, and the fingers have been passed down to the present day. To totally destroy them, Jujutsu sorcerers have been looking for the fingers and collected some, but many more are scattered around the world. Yuji is the only human in 1,000 years who can withstand the power of Sukuna's finger, and his body can be used to store Sukuna's fingers. Also, after Yuji dies, the fingers in his body may disappear completely. Therefore, Satoru wants Yuji to become a Jujutsu sorcerer, specializing in storing Sukuna's fingers. Considering it as a way to help more people, Yuji accepts Satoru's invitation. Immediately afterward, Satoru makes Yuji eat another finger and arranges for him to enter Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School. There are 2 Jujutsu academies in Japan, which are not only places where Jujutsu sorcerers are trained, but also strongholds for all Jujutsu sorcerers. The principal of Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School is Mazumichi, whose jujutsu is to make puppets. The cute puppets made by Mazumichi have great combat power, one of which suddenly attacks Yuji. Yuji must state why he wants to be a jujutsu sorcerer, and this reason needs to be approved by the puppet, otherwise it will keep attacking him. At first, Yuji claims that it is because his grandfather asked him to help others when he was dying. However, this reason is not sufficient, and the puppet continues to attack Yuji. After thinking about it, Yuji realizes that he indeed wants to help others, not just because of his grandfather's last words. If he rejects to become a Jujutsu sorcerer, more people would die because of Sukuna, and he doesn't want to see that happen. Confirmed by the puppet, Yuji successfully enrolls as a student in Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School. There aren't many students in this high school, with only 3 in Senior 1. They are Megumi, Yuji, and a girl named Nobara. Nobara's weapons are hammers and nails. In addition to these 2 weapons, Nobara also has the power to craft enemies' energy into a scarecrow. When she attacks the scarecrow, the enemy will receive the same damage. Due to the chronic shortage of Jujutsu sorcerers, students also need to take on a variety of tasks. Shortly after Yuji entered the school, first-year students are given a dangerous mission. A special cursed spirit appears in a prison, and they need to enter the prison to rescue the inmates inside. Cursed spirits are divided into 5 levels. If ordinary weapons can attack cursed spirits, a level 4 cursed spirit can be defeated with a wooden stick, while level 3 requires a pistol. A shotgun can defeat a level 2 cursed spirit, and a tank is needed to kill a level 1. As for a grand level cursed spirit, it may be destroyed by a squad of bombers. Jujutsu sorcerers are also divided into 5 grades. Generally, only a Grand Jujutsu sorcerer is able to fight the Grand level cursed spirit, but at the moment, the Grand Jujutsu sorcerers are performing other tasks, and only first-year students are free to perform this task. Since the student's strength is far inferior to the Grand level cursed spirit, the goal of this mission is just to rescue trapped prisoners, and they should try to avoid fighting the cursed spirit. But when they enter the prison, all the trapped prisoners have already been killed. Megumi thinks they should escape immediately, while Yuji insists on bringing out the prisoners' bodies. That's when the cursed spirit appears, and he cuts off Yuji's hand in an instant. Yuji knows that they can't defeat the grand level cursed spirit, so he asks Megumi and Nobara to leave first, while he stays behind to activate Sukuna's powers against the cursed spirit. Yuji wants Sukuna to help, but Sukuna is unwilling to listen to Yuji's orders. Yuji thus has to fight the grand level cursed spirit alone. Though he has superb physical strength, he does not know how to use any Jujutsu, so the cursed spirit quickly defeats him. At this moment, Sukuna suddenly changes his mind, agrees to Yuji's request, and instantly takes possession of Yuji's body. Sukuna easily defeats the grand cursed spirit and gets a finger from his corpse. Then, he immediately leaves the prison. It turns out that Sukuna just wants to take the opportunity to control Yuji's body. We see him dig out Yuji's heart. As a cursed spirit, he can survive without a heart, but Yuji's consciousness will die in an instant if it retakes possession of his body. Sukuna thought Yuji would thus give the body to him for fear of death. Sukuna then begins attacking Yuji's companions. Megumi bravely fights back, summoning many powerful animals for assistance, but still fails due to their huge strength gap. Sukuna kills the animals in an instant and defeats Megumi. To stop Sukuna, Yuji decisively chooses to regain consciousness. This means that he will immediately die because he has no heart. After the mission, both Megumi and Nobara are grieved for Yuji's death, which was for saving them. Although they haven't spent much time with Yuji, they both think he is a good person. At this time, students of Senior 2 are back to Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School. There should be 4 students in total, but one of them hasn't returned from a mission abroad. The 3 students coming back are Maki, who is good at fighting with weapons, Toj, who does not like to talk, and a panda. They are here to attend the contest between Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School and another Jujutsu Academy, Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School. After Yuji dies, his soul enters a strange world, which is not hell, but the innate domain of Sukuna, or to be more understandable, the inner world of the strong. Creating domains and pulling others inside is one of the most powerful jujutsu called domain amplification. Sukuna tells Yuji that he can be resurrected if he agrees to a condition, which requires Yuji to allow Sukuna to control the body for a minute once Sukuna utters the word contract, and after they complete the deal, Yuji will forget what it is about. To reassure Yuji, Sukuna promises not to kill innocent people in the 1 minute. He is also restricted by the jujutsu, and if he breaks his words, he will die immediately. After thinking for a while, Yuji accepts Sukuna's deal, and in the next second his heart is repaired and Yuji successfully revives. The sudden resurrection of Yuji pleasantly surprises Satoru, who has always been optimistic about Yuji's future as a jujutsu sorcerer. However, Satoru does not plan to tell others about it, because many conservative jujutsu sorcerers believe that sooner or later Yuji will be completely controlled by Sukuna, and they thus want to kill Yuji. Satoru decides to conceal the news of Yuji's resurrection, intending to wait until Yuji becomes stronger and is able to protect himself. Meanwhile, inside a restaurant, curse user Suguru is meeting a special cursed spirit, Jogo. Curse users are evil jujutsu sorcerers who, instead of protecting ordinary people, harm humans together with the cursed spirit. Jogo brutally kills everyone in the restaurant for fun. And next, he will cooperate with Suguru to try to assassinate Satoru, the strongest jujutsu sorcerer, and the evil buster. The next battle will prove that Satoru is undoubtedly the best, and this battle is also one of the greatest battles in all anime. At this moment, Satoru is training Yuji in a secret room. Jujutsu sorcerers' emotions can have a significant impact on Jujutsu, and Yuji must first know how to control emotions before learning Jujutsu. For that, Satoru asks Yuji to watch a lot of films, and if his mood changes significantly because of the plot, he will be beaten by a Jujutsu puppet. As Yuji is on his training, Satoru goes out on a mission, only to be attacked by Jogo on the way. Generally, cursed spirits do not possess intelligence, except for the grand level cursed spirit. The powerful cursed spirit can be intelligent and cruel, and thus very dangerous. Among cursed spirits, there are also gaps of strength. For example, the cursed spirit in prison was easily defeated by Sukuna, who only had 2 fingers, while the strength of Jogo is equivalent to that of Sukuna obtained with 8 fingers, which is much stronger. But Satoru, as the strongest jujutsu sorcerer, can still deal with him easily. During the battle, he even has time to teleport himself to Yuji and brings him to the battlefield, because Satoru believes that his battle with the Grand Cursed Spirit is a good opportunity for Yuji to learn about jujutsu. To defeat Satoru, Jogo pulls him and Yuji into his domain. The power of Jogo comes from people's fear of volcanoes, so his domain is a crater. Satoru tells Yuji that in his own domain, Jogo will be strengthened a lot. There are 2 ways to defeat him. One is to initiate a fatal fight with all his power, and the other is to also use domain amplification. During a fight, the stronger domain can cover the weaker one. Immediately afterwards, Satoru covers Jogo's domain using domain amplification, and wins the battle. Just then, Jogo's companion suddenly rescues him and sneaks up on Yuji. To save Yuji, Satoru has to allow Jogo and his companion to flee away. Soon after, Jogo and his companions flee back to Suguru's stronghold, where a group of cursed spirits gathers with the same intention to defeat Satoru at any cost. To restrain the crazy curse users and cursed spirits, Satoru and other jujutsu sorcerers have to train a new generation of potential sorcerers, and Yuji is one of the candidates. Satoru believes that he will become a grand jujutsu sorcerer. To get Yuji stronger as soon as possible, Satoru asks him to secretly carry out a dangerous mission with Kento, one of the grand sorcerers. Yoshino is an introverted, cowardly high school student often picked on at school. One day, he met the bad boys at a movie theater, and these boys died suddenly, with their heads taking on strange shapes. Besides Yoshino, there was only one person at the scene, so he followed the person outside, who turned out to be a grand cursed spirit, Mahito. Usually, ordinary humans can't see cursed spirits, but Yoshino could see Mahito, indicating that he has the potential to become a jujutsu sorcerer or curse user. Therefore, Mahito wooed Yoshino. Yuji and Kento are tasked with investigating the incident that took place at the movie theater. When Kento arrives at the scene, he immediately confirms that it was a cursed spirit who killed the 3 high school students. As they try to get more clues, they come across 2 weaker spirits on the roof, and immediately fall into a fight. During the battle, Kento demonstrates his ability, which allows him to create weaknesses on enemies with jujutsu, and as long as he hits the weak point he created, the enemy will be severely damaged. Yuji still does not know any jujutsu, but he has learned to control jujutsu energy. He covers his fist with the energy and fights the cursed spirits with his strong punches. Soon they defeat the 2 cursed spirits. That's when Kento discovers that the 2 cursed spirits were once humans. There has never been a case of a living human turning into a cursed spirit, and it must have been caused by curse users or cursed spirits. Learning of it, both Kento and Yuji are shocked and angry. It turns out to be the crime of Mahito, who has the ability to change the physical form of a human being, transforming him into a cursed spirit. Not only that, Mahito also imparts a lot of knowledge about jujutsu to Yoshino in an attempt to make him a curse user. Meanwhile, Kento and Yuji also discover that Yoshino was at the scene when the 3 high schoolers were killed. Kento asks Yuji to investigate Yoshino, while he stays to find out the murderer, who is also likely to be the one turning humans into cursed spirits. Through the jujutsu energy left over in the movie theater, Kento tracks down Mahito, who hides in a sewer. They immediately fall into a fight. Mahito can change the shape of his body at will, and he can recover in a short time even if he is injured. However, if Kento is injured by Mahito, it's gonna take him a while to heal, so he must destroy Kento with a quick blow. He uses the strongest Jujutsu to attack Mahito, who sees through the power of this attack and quickly dodges, but still gets his legs cut. For Kento, he failed to kill Mahito with this most powerful blow, and thus has to retreat for the time being. Meanwhile, Yuji has met Yoshino. He can tell that Yoshino is not a bad person, so he tries to initiate a talk. Yoshino loves to watch movies, while Yuji happens to have watched a lot of movies, so they soon become friends because of this topic. Just then, they encounter Yoshino's mother, who invites Yuji for dinner. Yuji accepts the invitation and has a great time with Yoshino that night. Although Yoshino is introverted, he is actually very eager to have a good friend, so he is very friendly to Yuji. Added with the fact that Yoshino's mother is a very good person, Yuji believes Yoshino has nothing to do with what happened at the cinema. However, just when Yuji leaves Yoshino's home, tragedy strikes. Yoshino's mother picks up a finger of Sukuna, which causes her to be killed by the cursed spirit. Mahito lies to Yoshino that it was one of his mean classmates that put this finger in his house, causing his mother to be killed. Mahito then arrives at school with Yoshino, where he uses Jujutsu to create an enchantment that traps all the students in the school. His plan is to attract Yuji and Kento to the school, and then use Yoshino to make Yuji lose control, so that Sukuna will take control of Yuji's body. It's when he'll manage to make Sukuna occupy Yuji's body forever. Yoshino has been enraged. Using the Jujutsu, Mahito taught him to instantly cripple the classmate who often picked on him. Just as Yoshino is about to kill this classmate, Yuji rushes over to stop him. Yoshino's Jujutsu, similar to Megumi, can summon a jellyfish to help him fight. Yuji tries to convince Yoshino to stop taking revenge, but an angry Yoshino won't listen and attacks Yuji instead. The jellyfish has a very soft body and is good at counteracting attacks. Therefore, Yuji's attacks can't kill the jellyfish, but Yoshino himself is very vulnerable, so Yuji can only try to subdue Yoshino first to help him calm down. Dissuaded by Yuji, Yoshino finally chills, and he begins to realize that the murderer is unlikely to be his classmate because he does not know Jujutsu at all, nor the function of the finger. Yuji then invites Yoshino to enter Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School, and promises to work with him to find the real culprit who killed his mother. Before Yoshino responds to it, Mahito admits that it was him using Sukuna's finger to attract the cursed spirit and murdered Yoshino's mother. Not only that, but he also turns Yoshino into a cursed spirit, forcing him to fight Yuji. Learning of that, Yuji asks Sukuna to help restore Yoshino to a human. However, Sukuna tells Yuji that Yoshino is no longer recoverable. A few minutes later, Yoshino dies because he does not fit into Cursed Spirit's body. This is Mahito's plan. He has angered Yuji, who then allows Sukuna to control his body. However, he underestimates Yuji, who does not rely on Sukuna, but fights Mahito with his own power. Unfortunately, Yuji is much weaker than Mahito, and he is quickly defeated. Luckily, Kento arrives in time and helps Yuji fight with Mahito. Kento discovers that every time Mahito's body changes, there is a short pause, and he plans to use the pause to attack Mahito. In order to fight the two, Mahito unleashes several human-transformed cursed spirits to attack Yuji, because he knows that Yuji is so kind that he can't bear to kill them. But now Yuji has become stronger, and he knows that if he does not kill these cursed spirits, more humans will be killed, so he decisively kills them and continues to attack Mahito with Kento. The quick and frequent attacks from Kento and Yuji make Mahito have no time to change his shape, so he activates his domain, trapping Kento inside, while Yuji is left out. Kento does not know how to use domain amplification, and at this moment, Kento thinks that he will definitely die here. At this moment, Yuji actually breaks into the domain of Mahito. Normally, no one will want to go into someone else's domain, because it's a very dangerous thing. Therefore, the inside of the domain is strong, but the outside is fragile. Yuji is willing to enter the domain of Mahito for Kento, while an arrogant Sukuna hates doing so, as being trapped in someone else's domain is an insult to him. So Sukuna uses his domain to smash Mahito's. Mahito knows that he has no chance of victory now, so he immediately changes his form and flees through the sewers. Although Yuji and Kento failed to kill Mahito, they have found the truth of the movie theater incident. For Yuji, the mission is completed. After the mission, Yuji has a deeper understanding of the duties of the Jujutsu sorcerer. He becomes more determined and stronger, and he knows it's time to return to Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School. When Suguru learns of this, he immediately gathers the curse users and the cursed spirits to devise a plot to capture Yuji with the aim of bringing Sukuna back into this world through Yuji. Yuji is very excited about going back to school, and he can't wait to surprise Megumi and Nobara. Yuji thinks they will be happy to find out that he is not dead. However, when Yuji appears in front of them, they instead feel slightly angry. After all, they have been greeting Yuji's death all this time, but Yuji has been hiding, causing them to be guilty for so long. Soon, there will be an exchange event between Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School and Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School, so teachers and students of Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School have got here. The principal of Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School, Yoshinobu, is a conservative jujutsu sorcerer. He believes that Sukuna in Yuji's body will cause disasters, and that the jujutsu sorcerers should kill Yuji. In this event, only students participate as contestants, and the competition is divided into two parts, the first of which is a group battle. Teachers will release a level 2 cursed spirit and a group of cursed spirits at level 3 and 4 in the designated area. The group that first exorcises the level 2 cursed spirit wins. But, if by the end of the specified time, no one beats the level 2 cursed spirit, the group that exorcises more cursed spirits of lower level wins. Players on both sides cannot intentionally kill their opponents during the match, and there are no rules other than that. Since it is allowed to have a battle between two sides, accidental deaths can also occur. Yoshinobu decides to take the opportunity to have his students kill Yuji during the match, faking it as manslaughter. Aoi, the strongest student at Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School, is reluctant to follow Yoshinobu's order. He is a man of integrity, unwilling to do such an insidious thing, but the other students chose to follow Yoshinobu's orders, and they prepare to make plans to attack Yuji. Soon, the competition begins, and both sides enter the battlefield to execute their respective tactics. At first, Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School does not know the opponent's plan, and their plans are according to the rules of the event. The strongest of them will be responsible for finding the level 2 cursed spirit, while others try to kill lower level curses, as many as possible. Just then, Aoi suddenly shows up and blocks them. Aoi loves to fight, and he thinks that cursed spirits are too weak. While fighting a jujutsu sorcerer can be fun, he is very similar to Yuji, good at covering his body with jujutsu energy when fighting. So Yuji decides to stay and fight Aoi, while the others continue to search for the cursed spirits. After a period of special training, Yuji's strength has become much stronger, but he still can't defeat Aoi, who, as a first-class jujutsu sorcerer, is the strongest of all the students in the event. Yuji's attacks can't hurt Aoi, but Aoi can knock Yuji down with one punch. Soon Yuji is wounded. As Aoi thinks Yuji will throw in the towel, Yuji stands up again and wants to continue fighting. Aoi appreciates Yuji's strong will, but he thinks Yuji's fighting skills are weak, so he decides to teach Yuji some practical skills in actual combat. Just then, Aoi's classmates also come near, and they try to kill Yuji. However, all of their attacks are dodged by Yuji. At the same time, Aoi is enraged because he doesn't want anyone else to interfere with his duel with Yuji, so Aoi drives away his classmates. The sound attracts Yuji's classmates' attention, and they can tell from the actions of the opponents that they were trying to kill Yuji. So Yuji's classmates ambush the students of the opponent group to protect Yuji. This allows Yuji to concentrate on singling out Aoi. Yuji is talented, and his combat skills have been improving during his battle against Aoi, who is very happy about this, and since he loves to fight against strong opponents, he teaches Yuji an important fighting technique. Yuji usually strengthens his fist with jujutsu energy and fights his opponent in close combat. But, if he learns how to make jujutsu energy flow and circulate through his body instead of concentrating on just his fists, he will become more flexible and combative. Yuji quickly learns this technique and uses it to fight Aoi again. Meanwhile, Panda of Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School and Mekamaru of Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School take the lead in a battle. Panda is actually the strongest puppet Mazumichi made with jujutsu. Unlike other puppets, Panda has his own consciousness and can act alone without Mazumichi. Mekamaru is very similar to Panda, because it was also made by jujutsu. A talented but disabled jujutsu sorcerer remotely controls it to fight. This jujutsu sorcerer is unable to leave the special ward due to illness, but his jujutsu energy is very strong. He controls Mekamaru to fire a super cannon, which directly knocks down Panda. Mekamaru thinks he has won, but Panda stands up the next moment. Unlike other puppets relying on one core to provide energy, Panda has 3 cores. Therefore, Panda has 3 forms: Panda, Gorilla, and a girl. Among them, the girl form is the weakest but the most gentle, and Panda generally takes the girl form to get along with friends. Mekamaru just now defeated the Panda form, which is for ordinary battles. When he encounters difficult battles, he transforms into a gorilla. Panda in gorilla form is much stronger in strength and speed, and he successfully defeats Mekamaru, causing the Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School to lose an important member. The next battle is between Maki of Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School and Kasumi from Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School. Maki doesn't know how to use jujutsu, and she can't even see cursed spirits without wearing special glasses. But Maki is very good at fighting with cold weapons, while her opponent, Kasumi, as a swordsman, is also adept at cold steel. So the key to this duel depends on who possesses stronger fighting skills. In the end, Maki turns out to be superior, quickly taking Kasumi's weapon and winning the battle. On the other side, Nobara is fighting another girl from Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School. This schoolgirl is named Momo, and her ability is to control a broom to fly, so she is generally responsible for scouting. Her combat power is not very strong, but she is very flexible. The nail Nobara shoots never hits her. Luckily, Nobara is actually very good at dealing with such nimble opponents. She finds an opportunity to get a fragment of her broom and make the fragment into a scarecrow. Nobara's attack on the scarecrow is equivalent to a direct attack on the broom, so Momo's broom is instantly broken, and she falls out of the air. Just then, Nobara seizes the opportunity to knock her down immediately. That's when Mai, from Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School, sneaks up on Nobara with her weapon, a revolver. Luckily, Maki rushes over to support Nobara after defeating Kasumi. When she and Mai encounter each other, they fall into a fight. In fact, Maki and Mai come from the same family of jujutsu sorcerers. Maki has a strong personality but no jujutsu energy, while Mai has jujutsu energy with a weak and cowardly personality. Maki trains hard to become a powerful jujutsu sorcerer, but Mai, who never wants it, is forced to become a jujutsu sorcerer by the family. They used to be close sisters, but because of their different personalities and ideals, they gradually became distant. Perhaps to compensate for Maki's lack of jujutsu energy, she has superhero-like athleticism and reflex nerves, which allow her to successfully dodge every shot from Mai, and she starts her attack after Mai finishes her bullets. Just then, Mai suddenly uses jujutsu to gain a new bullet and shoots it at Maki. Amazingly, Maki grabs the bullet directly with her bare hand. She then gets close to Mai, easily defeating her. Most students from Kyoto Prefectural Jujutsu High School have been defeated, but the strongest Aoi and the second strongest Noritoshi are still fighting. Noritoshi's opponent is Megumi, and he has always had the upper hand in battle. With his ability to control blood, Noritoshi can make the arrow able to track by smearing blood on it. What's more, he is also good at close combat, because he can change the body temperature, pulse, and blood composition, keeping himself in excitement all alone in the battle. Among the competitors at Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School, the strongest is Todo, whose mission is to go straight to the level 2 cursed spirit. Unexpectedly, the cursed spirit has been killed by a grand cursed spirit, Hanami. It turns out that Sugiru's subordinates have arrived at the scene to capture Yuji. While Megumi and Noritoshi are fighting, Hanami suddenly attacks them. Thankfully, Todo alerts them to escape in time so they aren't injured. The teachers watching from a distance also notice the anomaly, and they immediately decide to interrupt the competition and prioritize resistance to the invaders. Sugiru's men join forces to release a special enchantment to cover the designated field, which is only valid for Satoru. Everyone else can still enter the field freely, because they believe that all jujutsu sorcerers, except for Satoru, cannot stop them from capturing Yuji. By this time Megumi and Noritoshi have stopped fighting, and together with Todo they deal with Hanami. Todo's ability is special. He generally does not speak, and once he speaks, every word becomes a reality. Todo tells Hanami not to move, and Hanami can't move anymore. Megumi and Noritoshi take the opportunity to attack, but their attacks are ineffective in harming Hanami. In this case, they can only run away, because Todo's ability has a limit, and he can't make something too difficult a reality, such as letting Hanami die. Also, if he speaks out about something difficult, her throat will be hurt. Thus, after he uses his ability to knock Hanami down, he is severely injured in the throat and can't speak for the time being. Maki then arrives to help, and she uses a very powerful weapon to beat Hanami up. But in the ensuing battle, she and Megumi are still defeated by Hanami, who then tries to kill Maki. Fortunately, Aoi and Yuji arrive in time to save them. Subsequently, Aoi and Yuji state a deal with Hanami. Aoi asks Yuji to fight Hanami first to try out the fighting skills he has just learned. When the body and jujutsu energy combine perfectly, the jujutsu energy turns black in that instant, allowing the power of the attacks launched at this time to be multiplied. That's how Yuji breaks Hanami's arm. But the injury isn't serious for the Grand Cursed Spirit, and Hanami instantly recovers with jujutsu. Aoi is very satisfied with Yuji's perfect attack, and soon joins the battle, because it's impossible for Yuji alone to completely destroy Hanami. In addition to wrestle, Aoi is also able to use a unique jujutsu. By clapping, he can make the positions of two objects interchange. When Hanami attacks him, Aoi uses this jujutsu to cause Hanami to be injured by his own attack. Aoi can also use this jujutsu to swap his and Yuji's positions so that Hanami can effectively dodge their attacks. Aoi and Yuji constantly swap positions and keep attacking Hanami, who then tries to dodge before Aoi claps, but he can likewise just clap without using jujutsu. This left Hanami completely unable to predict their attacks. Not only that, Sugiru's subordinates underestimate the strength of the other Jujutsu sorcerers on the battlefield. After entering the enchantment, Yoshinobu gains the upper hand and is soon able to support the students. More shockingly, Satoru forcibly breaks the enchantment, and when he enters, he immediately defeats a curse user. The rest of Sugiru's men notice that the enchantment has disappeared, fleeing away immediately. Meanwhile, Hanami is still unable to defeat Aoi and Yuji, but it is not difficult to escape from them. Soon after, both curse users and cursed spirits flee away, meaning the failure of Sugiru's plot. Although Yuji was not captured, Sugiru's men took the opportunity to attack the warehouse at Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School. They seized Sukuna's fingers and another evil item inside the warehouse, death paintings. Suguru is ready to use these things to develop new conspiracies later. When teachers of the two Jujutsu academies learn of the theft, they decide not to tell the students about it, so as not to cause panic among the students. 2 days later, they even ask the students to continue with the unfinished event. Given that the previous battle was too intense, the following matches will be set for relaxing. The two schools will play a baseball game. During the process, students from both schools finally have a chance to communicate peacefully. They cease to be mere rivals and gradually become friends. Interestingly, Mechamaru's operator transforms the robot into a ball machine for competition. Momo acts as an outfielder and she can catch the ball while flying, helping her team gain slightly upper hand. Even so, Yuji leads his classmates to the final victory with his amazing athletic ability. In the end, Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School won the competition. After this competition, Yoshinobu's opinion of Yuji also changes. He is no longer in a hurry to kill Yuji, but wants to see what kind of sorcerer Yuji will grow into. Another period of time passes. One day, at the door of an apartment building, a resident notices that the automatic door is malfunctioning. As he is reporting for repairs, he gets attacked by a cursed spirit. Similar incidents have happened 3 times, so teachers at Tokyo Prefectural Jujutsu High School send a trio of Senior 1 to investigate the incident. After preliminary investigation, they find that the victims have all attended the same junior high school, so they plan to go to this junior high school to investigate the matter. When they arrive in the town where the junior high school is located, they find that another graduate of this junior high school has died. It can now be confirmed that the cause of the deaths must be related to this school. When they enter the school, bad students here instantly become polite once seeing Megumi. It turns out that Megumi used to be a famous student here, and he once beat up all the ruffians in the entire town. So the teenagers in this town are in awe of Megumi. Megumi also meets his teacher here. The teacher is very old, and the 4 victims were his students 20 years ago. He thinks for a while, recalling what these students had in common. On the outskirts of the town, there is a bridge where supernatural events have occurred. 20 years ago, students loved to explore the bridge late at night. One night, after these 4 victims went to the bridge to explore, they all fell into a coma for unknown reasons, which caused quite a stir that year. No one expected that 20 years later, they would die because of this incident. Meanwhile, Mahito feeds death paintings to a poor ordinary human. There are 9 copies of death paintings, each of which produces a grand cursed spirit. Suguru gets 3 of them, and he orders Mahito to make grand cursed spirits to capture Yuji. That night, the trio comes under the bridge, and sure enough, they see a lot of cursed spirits, which are all low level, and the trio can easily eliminate them. But then a grand cursed spirit appears. Yuji immediately steps forward to fight the cursed spirit, trained by Satoru and Aoi. His strength has improved to that of a level 1 Jujutsu sorcerer. When he's in good shape, he even has a chance to beat a grand cursed spirit. Megumi and Nobara are in charge of dealing with the other cursed spirits under the bridge. These cursed spirits, although numerous, are weak, and they quickly kill most of them. At this time, another grand cursed spirit appears and captures Nobara. When Yuji's opponent sees Nobara has been captured, he also flees away. Megumi immediately asks Yuji to rescue Nobara, while he stays behind to clear the remaining cursed spirits. Megumi quickly kills all the weak cursed spirits, but among them, there is a grand one. It turns out that to lure out Yuji, Suguru fed the weak cursed spirits under the bridge with Sukuna's fingers, and one of them thus became the grand cursed spirit, starting to hunt down the humans he once cursed. That's why the students who were cursed 20 years ago would be suddenly killed. Megumi fights the cursed spirit, but is quickly injured and at a disadvantage. In fact, Megumi is very talented, but he is so calm that he lacks the courage to sacrifice his life, so he cannot activate a full combat power. In such a desperate situation, Megumi's mind changes, and his strength thus exceeds his limits. Finally, he manages to use domain amplification. In Megumi's domain, he can constantly summon a variety of creatures to attack enemies. While the grand level cursed spirit is busy fighting these creatures, Megumi has summoned a legendary creature, the werewolf, which gives the grand cursed spirit a fatal blow that helps Megumi win the battle. After Megumi gets Sukuna's finger in the body of the cursed spirit, he falls unconscious from injuries and exertion. In addition to the Grand Cursed Spirit defeated by Megumi, there are 3 more made by Suguru, who sent 2 of them to capture Yuji. These cursed spirits made by death paintings are brothers, and their strengths are determined by their numbers. The 2 Suguru sent are number 2 and 3, while the strongest number 1 isn't involved in the mission. The Grand Cursed Spirit who captured Nobara is number 2, and he features a face on his back. This face can release blood wings, giving him the ability to fly low. Besides, his blood is highly corrosive, so he can control the blood to attack, just like Noritoshi. At this moment, Yuji has managed to rescue Nobara. To avoid number 2's blood, Yuji flees to a nearby road with Nobara on his back. However, number 3 has already been ambushed here. He raids Yuji and Nobara, spraying his blood on them. Though the blood is not corrosive, number 2's Jujutsu can poison Yuji and Nobara through the blood. Number 2 claims that Yuji will die in 15 minutes, while Nobara's life will end in 10 minutes. Therefore, Yuji and Nobara must defeat these 2 Grand Cursed Spirits within 10 minutes. Luckily, Nobara's Jujutsu is able to restrain them. She directly attacks the blood on her body with a hammer, consequently injuring both number 2 and number 3. Nobara's attack, though not deadly, makes it difficult for the opponents to move. Yuji takes this opportunity to attack them. In this case, if number 2 does not disarm his Jujutsu, he and his brother are likely to be defeated as a result. To save his life, number 2 has to dismiss his Jujutsu. Yuji immediately steps forward to fight number 2 and breaks his arm. Nobara is responsible for dealing with the weaker number 3. She stabs a nail formed by Jujutsu's energy into number 3's body, eventually killing him. Seeing this, number 2 immediately jumps into a passing van and kidnaps the passenger as a hostage in an attempt to escape. Yuji chases after him, while Nobara makes a scarecrow using number 2's broken arm. She wounds number 2 by attacking the scarecrow, forcing him to release the hostage. Yuji then takes this opportunity to kill number 2 with one punch. Number 1 senses that his brothers are dead, showing up furious, while Suguru and Mahito get excited, believing that the stronger Yuji becomes, the more worthy he is for exploiting. After the battle, Yuji and Nobara return to the bridge to join Megumi. Megumi takes out the Sukuna finger he has taken, and Sukuna suddenly takes control of Yuji's body and swallows the finger. This surprises them all. Yuji often feels embarrassed and helpless about Sukuna's behavior. Satoru is pleasantly surprised to know that 3 first-year students have defeated 3 Grand Cursed Spirits on this mission. He believes these newcomers have the potential to change the world. When the second graders hear about this, they start training harder, because they don't want to lose to their juniors. With the expectation of many partners, Yuji, Megumi and Nobara will continue to work hard to fight evil, create more amazing results, and make the world a more peaceful and better place. That brings the end of the first season of Sorcery Fight. Yuji's story reminds me of the main character in another anime, Naruto. They all have a powerful monster hidden inside them, but they don't become cowardly because of it. Instead, they are more powerful than before. I appreciate characters like this. What doesn't kill them only makes them stronger. At the end of the story, Yuji even defeats the Grand Cursed Spirit, and I believe that he will definitely defeat all the evil curse users and cursed spirits and return everything back to normal. If you also like this anime, please like and subscribe. If you want to see other anime, comment below to tell me. See you in my next video.